In today's weird Southeast Asia story, we're going to tell the incredible story of Gerald Gardner, the founder of Wicca, and just what he did in Malaya back when it was still a British colony. Now, Wicca, for those of you who are unaware, is basically modern witchcraft by its adherents. It's a neo-pagan movement founded by the English writer Gerald Gardner. Gardner lived in Malaya, what is today Malaysia and Singapore, during the peak of the British Empire. That's him looking like a genuine wizard over there in that picture. Now, he was born in the 1880s to a middle-class English family. He became very interested in non-European beliefs, occultism, and weapons. His family did a lot of traveling for their business, which was lumber and timber and plantation work. He was primarily self-educated. When he was a young man, he moved out to Ceylon, Sri Lanka, and later Borneo, before going to Singapore. While in Borneo, he became interested in local traditions instead of dismissing them like many of his contemporaries would. In Singapore, he worked as an amateur archaeologist, anthropologist, and folklorist. He conducted clandestine expeditions and excavations around Johor Bahru. Before then, formal expeditions were banned because the Sultan at the time thought archaeologists were basically grave robbers, which in that era was basically true. He was a civil servant, but very interested in local beliefs. He retired from civil service early, thanks to an inheritance he got. He traveled across Southeast Asia, documenting a weapon he always found interest in, kris or karis blades, as they were called. He was very interested in the role of weapons in ritual. When he was a young man, he collected weapons from the Napoleonic Wars, like old swords and flintlocks. He published a fairly well-cited book about the Malay karis or kris and other weapons, which I found in the Singapore National Library. He spent the remainder of his life in the UK in the late 30s, early 40s, and later on, largely developing the Wiccan belief system. And some have suggested that the role of the Wiccan sorcerer's blade, the athame, was inspired by legends about the Malay karis or kris. Now, I'm not familiar enough with the Wiccan traditions or the Malay folklore to really make that definitive statement, but a bit of fairly interesting history for all